Welcome to Talking Straight. I'm Suresh Kochattil. Many of you would have missed the announcement a few days ago by Sri Eknath Shinde, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, about the renaming of Ahmednagar as Ahilyabai. Well, in today's fast-paced life, that is kind of expected. But how many of us know who Ahilyabai Holkar is? For that matter, what makes her different from the other kings and queen of her times? I wish to acknowledge the inputs of a Facebook post of Ahilyabai Holkar by Shefali Vaidya, which prompted me to come up with this video. Now, definitely all of you would ask me as to what it is all about. But let us look at Ahilyabai Devi's contribution to India's history, which is as grand as the Himalayas. Ahilyabai was born into a Marathi family to Mankoji Shinde and Sushila Shinde in the Chaundi village of the present-day Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra. Her father, of course, was a very pious man, as Kion, Mankoji Shinde, as I told you, a respectable Dhangar family, and served as a patil. Although women did not go to school way back then, Ahilya's father taught her to read and write, and that is very, very important. According to a legend, she rose to prominence when Malharrao Holkar, a commander of the army of the Maratha Peshwa Bajirao I and the ruler of Malwa, stopped at Chaundi on his way to Pune and saw the 8-year-old Ahilya and was impressed by her piety and character. Malharrao Holkar saw the true potential of this introvert girl, and he chose her as a bride for his young son, Khanderao Holkar, that is, and he married Ahilya in 1733 on the advice of the Peshwas. She accompanied Khanderao on many campaigns. Throughout her married life, she was brought up by her mother-in-law, Gautama Bai, who is credited for the various values that she instilled in Ahilya. She trained Ahilya into administration, accounts, politics, and eventually handed over the Khasgi Jagir to her in 1758. That is way back then. Now let's look at the present thing. When Ahmad Shah Durrani invaded Punjab in 1765, Malhar Rao was busy fighting the Abdali Rohilya army in Delhi. During the same time, Ahilyabai captured the Gohad fort near Gwalior. Kande Rao and Ahilya had a son, Male Rao, and a daughter, Muktabai. Unfortunately, Kande Rao died when Ahilya was only 25. A grieving Malhar Rao asked Ahilya to look after the state's affairs, and after Malhar Rao's death in 1766, Ahilyabai's son Male Rao was crowned the king. But he was not a very popular ruler, owing to his numerous vices, and died soon in 1767 without producing an heir to the throne. Already trained to be a ruler, Ahilyabai petitioned Peshwa Madhav Rao I, after Malhar Rao and her son's death, to grant her the administration of the Holkar dynasty, which was agreed to by the Peshwas. Devi Ahilya was the queen of Indore till her death in 1795. In those times in Bharat, when widowed women had few rights, Ahilyabai Devi ruled a kingdom. She never observed any parda and led her army in a couple of battles herself. She led an extremely frugal and almost ascetic existence, eating simple food, that too only once in a day. She always wore white saris and no jewelry at all. She was a devout Hindu and a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Ahilya Devi was a ruler with a difference. In an era when Maratha women from royal families routinely followed the practice of sati after the husbands had fallen in the battlefield, she chose not to, following the entities of her father-in-law and the immensely capable Malhar Rao Holkar. It was Malhar Rao who carved himself a separate kingdom of the Malwa under the suzerainty of the Peshwas of Pune. During her reign that spanned a mere 28 years, this frail lady who ruled a small kingdom in central India, had single-handedly rebuilt Hindu temples, ghats and dharmashalas, all the way from Badrinath in the north to Rameshwaram down south. Devi Ahilya saved every paisa of her personal income and spent it in the pursuit of dharma. She did not merely rebuild and renovate temples, but in doing so, she reclaimed the sacred spaces for the Hindus that had been wrested from them over centuries by hordes of Islamic invaders. The legendary Queen of Malwa had fascinated people of Bharat for years. As we travel across India, we get to discover her footsteps that had traveled almost every part of Bharat. Among Ahilyabai's accomplishments was the transformation of Indore from a small village to a prosperous and beautiful city. She also commissioned several infrastructure projects in Malwa, sponsored festivals, and gave donations for regular worship in many Hindu temples. Her own capital, however, was in the nearby Maheshwar, a small town located 95 kilometers from Indore on the banks of the Narmada River. Maheshwar is not just another destination. It's a personal pilgrimage that begins when you get to read about this ascetic queen. As a token of her bhakti, Ahilya Devi named the capital Maheshwar, the abode of Lord Shiva. Earlier, Maheshwar was known as Mahishamati, a town that was home to the Vedic scholar Mandan Mishra. It was in this very town that a famous debate happened between Adi Shankara and Mandan Mitra, which had taken place in the 8th century CE. Today, Maheshwar reverberates with chants of Lord Shiva, who is worshipped here in many forms. Kaleshwar, Rajarajeshwar, Ahilyeshwar and Vithaleshwar are some of the famous Shiva temples in Maheshwar. The worship of Lord Shiva and the proximity of Narmada River were the twin anchors of Devi Ahilya's Spartan existence. Even today, the ghats that she built on the river Narmada stun the onlookers with their spare beauty and symmetry. According to Hindu belief, river Narmada is revered as a daughter of Lord Shiva. The perfectly rounded, colored stones found in her waters are worshipped as Shivalingas. It is said that when Devi Ahilya went on long solitary walks along the ghats, local fishermen presented her with these stones, Banalingas as they are known locally. Outside Malwa, Ahilyabai Devi Holkar built numerous Hindu temples, ghats, wells, tanks, rest houses throughout the Indian subcontinent, stretching from the Himalayas to the pilgrimage centers in southern India. Ahilyabai Holkar funded the reconstruction of the famous Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi in 1780, which had been destroyed in the past and subsequently converted into a mosque by Aurangzeb in 1669. She also constructed 9 temples, including those of Sri Tarakeshwar, Sri Gangaji, Ahilya Dwarakeshwar, reconstruction of ghats including Manikarnika Ghat, Dashashwamnath Ghat, Janana Ghat, Ahilya Ghat, Shitala Ghat, and the construction of Uttarakashi Dharmashala, Rameshwar Panchakoshi Dharmashala, Kapila Dhara Dharmashala and gardens. The present day structure of the Vishnupad temple was also rebuilt by Devi Ahilyabai Holkar in 1787 on the banks of the Falgu river. Ahilya Devi also rebuilt the Somnath temple after it was destroyed by the Muhammad of Ghazni. While taking the darshan of Girisheshwar near Ellora, you can actually get to read that the temple and the temple tank there was rebuilt by Ahilya Devi Holkar. The Bharatiya Sanskriti Kosh lists sites that she embellished as Kashi, Gaya, Somnath, Ayodhya, Mathura, Haridwar, Kanchi, Avanti, Dwaraka, Badrinath Temple, Rameshwaram and Jagannath Puri, among others. The Holkar family was known for avoiding and using public cash to meet their personal and family expenses. They possessed their personal funds, which at that point in time accumulated through their private property. And Ahilyabai Holkar had inherited personal funds to the estimation of 16 crore rupees at that time. But Ahilyabai Holkar donated all her money from her personal resources to charity. Devi Ahilyabai's name has been hidden from our history books by leftist historians who insisted that Akbar was great and Indian queens and kings simply did not exist. A commemorative stamp was issued in honor by the Government of India on 25th of August 1996. Yes, that's how long it took the Government of India to recognize this amazing queen. As a tribute to the great ruler, the Indore International Airport has been named as the Devi Ahilyabai Holkar Airport. Similarly, the Indore University has been renamed as Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya. Rarely will our history books will tell our children in school that there lived a legend called Devi Ahilyabai Holkar. During your next vacation, take your family on a pilgrimage of the sacred spots that Devi Ahilyabai Holkar had revived. That will show you how incredible our Bharat is. To quote from an English poem by Joanna Baillie, dating back to 1849, for 30 years her reign of peace, the land and blessing did increase. And she was blessed by every tongue, by stern and gentle, old and young. Yea, even the children at the mother's feet are taught such homely rhyming to repeat. In the later days, from Brahma came to rule our land a noble dame. Kind was her heart, and bright was her fame, and Ahilya was her honored name. Jai Hind.
Please subscribe to Nationalist Hub English channel for more interesting videos, and don't forget to like and share this video. Nationalist Hub, it's a news revolution.